Why do these 50 Steeler items matter? To you, they probably don't. But to me, they're everything. Because at one point in time, they all belonged to my dad, Larry, the biggest Steeler fan there ever was. But his actual shirts didn't survive. They were either donated or thrown out during the years. So I made it my mission to find them all again. The exact ones from the photos I had. To keep a piece of him with me.
I'm Kevin, and I run the Steelers Archive, a collection of vintage Steeler clothing. I spent about a decade selling vintage online, then recently transitioned into just collecting. This all started in October of 2022. I was flipping through one of my mom's scrapbooks when I saw it. A picture of my dad wearing a 1995 Steelers sweatshirt, the same one I had listed for sale on eBay. I immediately took the listing down and grabbed it from storage. Holding that sweatshirt and looking at that picture of my dad wearing it, it was the first time I ever felt a connection through clothing. My dad passed away from lung cancer in March of 2018. He wasn't just a Steeler fan, he was the Steeler fan. If you ever saw him, chances are he was wearing a Steeler shirt. That was practically his entire wardrobe. He was the kind of fan who muted commercials, cranked the volume to 100 if you started talking, and if you kept talking, he'd kick you out and make you watch somewhere else. He preferred to watch from his recliner at home in the living room, because he didn't care to watch the game with people who, quote, don't know shit about shit. If one of my youth sports games ran late on a Sunday, he'd tell the ref to hurry up because kickoff's in an hour, as if the NFL schedule revolved around him. For Christmas, he'd only ever ask for the latest Steeler book, as if he needed any more. And somehow, it feels perfect that even his urn is black and gold. What started as one sweatshirt slowly became a mission. I went through every scrapbook, every old photo, building a list of over 50 Steeler items I found my dad wearing. For 3 years, I searched everywhere. eBay, Depop, Instagram, local vintage shops, refreshing multiple times a day. Some were easy to find, while others were almost impossible. But eventually, I found every single one. And now, every shirt that once hung in his closet now hangs in mine, forever. I wouldn't have been able to do this without my mom. Every year, she and her friends would print out all their photos from the year, rent a house in Deep Creek Lake, and assemble these scrapbooks. The detail, creativity, and care she used to make them were incredible. Handwritten notes, jokes, documenting each holiday, birthday party, or first day of school. But while my dad was sick, my mom unexpectedly passed away. One day, doing yard work, a blood clot in her knee traveled to her heart. She was gone instantly. 6 months later, my dad died. My mom's death was sudden and confusing. She was extremely healthy, so there were no warning signs or time to prepare. Witnessing both sudden and anticipatory loss within such a short time was overwhelming, to say the least. Over the years, I spent more energy trying to process her death than my dad's, which made me feel guilty at times. This project actually began on her 5-year death anniversary. I was going through her scrapbooks, reliving some old memories, when I came across that first photo of my dad. I have about 15 of these scrapbooks, and they are so incredible that we even passed them around at her funeral. I want to take a moment to honor my mom, Joyce. She was the most genuine person you'd ever meet. Always involved, always caring, loved by everybody. She had a way of checking in on you, even for things you forgot you mentioned to her. She was selfless and always putting everybody's needs above her own. She was actually the one who unintentionally started all of this when she started selling household items on eBay in the early 2000s before it was common for people to do that. When I started thrifting in college, she taught me all of her tips and tricks, best way to ship things, and passed all of that knowledge on to me. That foundation made all of this possible. Back to my dad. Steeler football wasn't his whole personality. He was a nutcase, always joking and laughing, and loved embarrassing me in front of my friends. He was the real-life definition of a larger-than-life personality. And if you ask anyone who knew him what his favorite thing was, it wasn't football. It was being around kids. At family events, I swear he wouldn't even say hello to the adults. He'd go straight into playing with the kids, probably having more fun than they were. I went back and watched my old home videos from my youth sports games. My dad would get so into the game that he'd forget to move the camera. We'd get home to watch the replay and realize you couldn't see much, so my mom took over filming after that.
There he is! God damn, my baby!
Hearing their voices again, laughing, joking, talking with friends' parents, felt surreal. My dad would say some pretty wild things while he was recording, so we had to keep a few of those clips off of YouTube. My mom and dad had completely different ways of cheering, so here are a few clips that highlight the difference, starting with my mom.
You better gut that.
I did. That's why I wasn't talking. Oh my God! Thank God I taped it. Oh my God! I can't yell because I'm filming.
Hey. Hey, Joyce.
Get him! Fumble, fumble, fumble! Fumble! Whack him! Whack him! I have no idea what you just said. None. Come on, it's 4th and 8. We need a play here, baby. Let's go. Kevin, Kevin, Kevin! Yes! There he is! Woo! I don't know.
Larry, I hope you got that.
I hope so too. She was bugging me. Kevin, Kevin! Kevin got it! Yes! My baby. Look, he's wide open, Chris. Kevin! There's my baby. That's my baby. That's my son, yeah. All right, Kevin, way to go, baby. Come on, 2nd and 15. You know what that means? Go deep, baby. Blitz him, blitz him, blitz him! Dominate, dominate, dominate. Because he didn't eat chocolate pancakes this morning. He ate what I made him. Come on, defense! You see the bacon this kid eats. It's unbelievable. He's eating the exact same thing next week, Jason. Kevin got it! Kevin got it! My baby! My baby! Oh, Kevin! Get him, Kevin! Kevin got him. He's coming to Kevin! Kevin calls the fumble! Oh, my God! And I missed it! All right, be quiet. I'm recording. I have no idea what you just said. Realize I'm recording, okay? Don't fumble that nugget! Block, Kevin! Good block, Kevin! Oh, Kevin, what a fucking block! Kevin made a beautiful block over there. You wouldn't be shit without my son! I'm kidding.
Now let's get into the shirts. I'll go in depth with my top 10, 5 at the beginning and 5 at the end, and the rest I'll just flash on the screen so you can see the full collection. This is the one that started it all, the sweatshirt I found in my mom's scrapbook that made me search for more. I chose this picture to show how crazy of a fan he was. Also just want to point out how wild it is to be wearing all this in your living room on Christmas morning. I was able to find the sweatpants, the hat, and the raincoat. This 1996 big logo tank top is another one I had for sale when I was initially going through those scrapbooks. This Blitzberg tee is really cool because he was wearing this while I was born. This 90s starter coat is special to me because this one was actually my dad's. I was also able to find the matching hat. Those are the first 5, but they are just a small part of the full collection. The rest will show in chronological order. This project became a bridge back to my dad. It gave me direction and it let me reconnect with him in a way I didn't know I'd been missing. Sometimes I struggle with expressing grief. I'm not the best at being vulnerable, but this project became a really unique way to process emotions I don't normally talk about. What began as a small project, seeing a shirt in an old photo of my dad and trying to find it, quickly turned into something bigger. Originally, I had no intention of sharing any of this. It was just something I was doing for myself. But after showing friends and family, their reactions made it clear there was a story worth telling. That realization was intimidating. I'm someone who hates hearing myself talk, isn't great on camera, and honestly struggles to open up, especially when it comes to my parents. But I knew leaning into that discomfort would be good for me. And since I already have my Steelers archive page, I realized I have the perfect platform to post this film.
next to I couldn't find anywhere, and I was kind of driving myself crazy, so I cheated and had them custom made, and thanks to my Aunt Karen and my Grandma Judy for helping me sew some vintage tags into them. I don't have pictures for this one, but this was my dad's poster that hung on our steps leading to our basement, so I thought it was cool finding this graphic on a shirt. The next 3 were my dad's, I just don't have pictures of him in them. And here are a few more of my dad's hats that I just keep on display now. There were also a handful of items I was able to find that aren't Steeler related. And now here are the final 5.
Don't love featuring this one, but this was the last decent picture of him. This is the one we used for his obituary. This sweatshirt was gifted to my mom at her baby shower while she was pregnant with me. I was born in 1997, and this is from 1987, so it was 10 years old when she got it. This one's just cool to see my mom and dad both pictured in the same sweatshirt. This one was by far the hardest one I had to find. There were so many pictures of my dad in this one, and it's the one I wanted the most. I was literally golfing on a tee box waiting to hit, and I got a notification that one got listed on eBay, so I bought it as soon as I could. This one was also pretty hard to find, but I saved it for last just because I think Steeler's dad, loud and proud, describes him to a T. All the rare Steeler stuff I've collected over the years doesn't come close to the clothes in this collection. These are priceless to me. They remind me of him, sitting in his chair on a Steeler Sunday, game day snacks next to him, the Sam's Club-sized jar of M&Ms or a block of Colby Jack cheese with a knife stuck in it. That's why this project hits so close to home. It feels like a way to honor my dad while still carrying my mom with me through all of it. She made the scrapbooks, she kept the memories, and this type of project is right up her alley. She would have loved watching me put this together, and she absolutely would have organized the whole thing a lot better than I did. My wife and I are expecting our first daughter in March. I can't wait to recreate some of these memories and photos with her. Right now, the shirts fill my office, but soon that room is becoming a nursery. It's the only space I'm allowed to decorate, which is funny because my idea of decorating is hanging t-shirts on command strips. As much fun as it's been having this as my man cave, my daughter is the only reason I'd happily take every one of these shirts off the wall.
Before I wrap this up, I want to thank the people who made this possible. To everyone in the vintage community, whether you found a shirt, sent me a lead, or just kept an eye out, you're the reason I was able to complete this entire collection. I couldn't have done it without you. To name a few, Zach and Chase at Zed's, Sean at Monarch Studios, Christian at The Closet, Callan, Paperboy Vintage, Rick's Vintage, Pittsburgh Jersey King, and Brendan and Ricky at Heat Check.
To my brother-in-law Greg, who filmed and edited all of this, and somehow turned my chaotic idea into something real. This project exists because you cared enough to make it happen. To Keaton, a friend of Greg's, who jumped in without hesitation and shot all the drone footage. The clips came out phenomenal and gave this a cinematic feel that genuinely took the whole project to the next level. To my wife, thank you for supporting me in every way, for carrying our daughter, and for graciously tolerating years of t-shirts hanging on the walls. You've helped me confront my grief, understand it, and grow through it. You've guided me to places I never imagined I could reach, and I love you for that. To my mom, thank you for being the reason these memories survived. Your scrapbooks, your creativity, your organization, that's the backbone of this entire documentary. I hope this showed people even a fraction of how special you truly were. And to my dad, the ultimate Steelers maniac, who passed every bit of this obsession down to me. If he could watch this, he'd definitely make fun of me. For getting emotional, for being this attached to t-shirts, and for not being able to find just one or two, but instead hyper-fixating and tracking down every single one. And honestly, he'd be right. This project taught me how to sit with my grief instead of avoiding it. It reminded me that the people we lose don't disappear. They show up differently. In memories, in photos, or even in something as simple as old t-shirts. These shirts might not mean anything to anyone else, but to me, they're memories of my parents I get to keep alive.
Hi, Kev. It's your dad. All right, I'll see you. Bye-bye.